We would like to welcome you to Audio Suplex Live, brought to you by the Nerd Complex Podcast Network. Which episode are we on?
I don't even know what this counts as.
Is this not a? We're gonna not count this as a number good
This
show.
This is kind of an anomaly because so to give you guys a little bit of a background, we tried to do a normal show on Thursday like we would, and we ran into every technical difficulty, which basically boils down to Corey watching me for like an hour and a half, frustratedly run around my bedroom trying to hook up wires and
plugging
download
stuff in.
Yeah, it was pretty.
Whatever.
Really
Yeah,
plugging in things you didn't even need.
yeah. So
we thought it was going to go way smoother. Than that.
So we decided to try to get together like a roundtable show, kind of like an improv kind of thing, just kind of.
We got the improv comedy.
Yes,
king
and
over here. Yes, and
that's
That's
an improv joke.
yeah, it's improv humor, little inside baseball for you.
That went over most people's heads.
who's on?
First.
Hey Matt, let's get a little bit more mic in your face, you
I'm not a loud person.
dweeb.
That's why you have to eat it.
Is this good enough?
Yeah, put the mic in your mouth.
Yell, baby.
Close enough.
Rub your beard on it because they like to hear the beard feedback.
All right, good.
So Corey, who do we got with us today?
We got my buddy here. This is David Crumbly.
That's right. My name is Dave Crumbly. I'm a regional comedian superstar. Ever since I was a young boy, I always dreamed of being on a show on the Nerd Complex Audio Network. And it's kind of like, this wasn't my first choice, but it's the one I'm politically connected to,
Yes,
so
yeah.
I'm here.
You
yeah.
were looking at the Midnight Snuggie Hour
Yeah,
as
we
your
were-
primary choice.
That
was the first one.
That's the
He's got his
only
foot in the
thing
door.
where I can
Hey,
come.
man.
He's got his foot in the door.
I know the host of the Snuggie Hour personally. I can probably get
do
you on
you?
there. Yeah,
Oh, what about that?
Jonathan Snuggie.
There's the
Mr. Snuggie.
the chick flicks one.
Oh, the chick flicks picks with Peapod and
Yeah.
James.
They
Yeah.
watch chick flick movies.
That sounds
and then
terrible.
they talk about their feelings.
Was
Now,
he
now.
hot? Are they pissing on each other? What are they doing in there, Corey?
Now.
Thought this was about wrestling.
Shh,
these
no
are-
need to yell.
These
dude.
are our brethren and sister in
I know.
shows. We need
I
to
know.
show them the utmost respect and whatever. So
Yeah, no.
listen to those.
I
They're good
listened to
shows.
they did the
Notebook was
Tuscan Under the Tuscan Sun was their first one.
What even is that? That's a movie?
I think that's what
That
it's
sounds
called.
like an ice cream flavor.
It's got a nice
It's got
beige cover,
Matthew McConaughey
beige
in it
and
or
red
something.
cover. I can imagine
E.G.
it.
Airmen?
I don't know.
not
I've
a chick
never
flick,
seen it.
but-
But
That sounds
they
like
were
a
black.
that sounds like a really bad period piece movie with Kevin Costner in it.
have you seen The Postman? Because that movie's great. Have you seen Waterworld? Because that one's tolerable.
Nah.
That's a thing.
All right. Well, so what we're going to be kind of doing this week, we kind of take the normal show formula, which is Corey and I talk about SmackDown. Did we introduce Matt?
Yeah, I was gonna say real quick.
I was gonna say
You guys suck.
there's
All I've
another
done-
person on the show,
All I've done is belittle Matt for not talking in the microphone.
all day.
Matthew Goodfriend. He's very quiet on the mic, but he is here.
Typically, we would have, when we have somebody on the show, we say it's a friend of the show. We actually got a good friend.
Oh,
of the show.
boo.
Matthew, good friend. Matthew, bad podcaster.
Yes. Well, when I had my own podcast, I was the quiet one of the two.
All right, Dad, shut up.
Truthfully.
Shut up.
So
Well, it's hard because
Nobody wants to
You've got
hear
a-
about your
You've got a
podcast
sticker on
glory
your
days.
on your laptop of my podcast.
What are you talking about?
He just covered it up with his hand. Son of a
Well,
bitch.
I feel like Wesley's he's able to talk, and you're not.
He did most of the
as-
interviewing.
Yeah.
I kind of jutted in and said things for him to make fun of.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That was
perfect.
that's
Which
our
is why
dynamic.
we brought you here today.
Yeah, we need
Right.
we need
Somebody to make fun of.
Yeah.
Well,
Cool.
okay, so I'm already a heel, and Travis is making the turn to the
I've
dark
been
side.
making a
so
heel
we,
turn for like
right.
3 weeks now.
We needed somebody to come in and take some of the heat.
The baby face.
We can't have two heels
We have a
feuding.
tweener.
What do they call it? It's a twink.
You're a tweener.
Something that goes between. It's a twink, right?
tweener.
And then I'm guessing the podcast equivalent of Teddy Long. So,
Holla, holla.
and of course the producer with the most. You guys can't see us right now because we're not on camera, but Joe. That
I didn't
did
hear
nothing
anything.
for us.
I think you muted us, but didn't say anything.
So part of the reason
Joe said, "What up?"
part of
What up?
there we go. Part of the reason we had to do this little improvised roundtable show is because Joe has been busy, hard at work, updating the podcast studio, doing a lot of cool things in here. He's got us these our own little headphone things going
they
on.
don't care.
and nobody cares.
But
but-
he made some updates, and we're excited about it.
yeah. So
It's
hopefully
going to
the
be
sound-
easier for us to come in your ears.
Yeah.
Well, you already said Joe was hard at work, so
The jokes keep coming.
Oh goodness. So what are we going to be doing today, Corey?
We're going to talk about several topics. We're going to talk about a little bit about NXT, right? You wanted to compare,
Yeah.
maybe past NXT to current NXT. We're going to talk about the Superstar shakeup a little bit. Maybe talk a little bit about Raw and SmackDown this week. Just kind of go over the repercussions of how post WrestleMania is playing out, and if we think of any other topics to talk about on the way there, then we'll jet off into those directions.
Why don't we start with the Superstar shakeup? Because I know the last episode that we did, we talked about how the post WrestleMania Raw and SmackDown, although good shows, were both kind of like at a holding pattern because of the whole roster moving and all that stuff. So like no real.
I feel like a lot of storylines suffered because they had to kind of pause or shift.
So what is the official movement? So we had how many people go from one to the other? Do you know off the top of your head?
I know, off the top of my head, I do know. 11 people.
Off the top of your iPad in front of you.
Let me just, off the top of my head, remember.
This is off the top of his head, dude.
SmackDown to Raw, there were 11
That's a book.
superstars. So 11 new superstars showed up on Raw. And you want me to go over the 11? Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
Yeah, you might
Please do.
Off the top of my head, I think they were The Miz and Maurice.
Dude, you got a great memory. This is Monday. And you remember this?
I've only named 2 so far, so let's see if
That's
I can
more
get
than
the
I
rest.
could have off the top of my head.
Intercontinental Champion Dean Ambrose has taken the belt to Raw.
Yeah.
Bray Wyatt, who's in the middle of the world title picture on SmackDown, moved to Raw. We had Alexa Bliss and Mickie James move to Raw. And then some lower card guys, Apollo Crews, Kalisto, Heath Slater and Rhino, and Kurt Hawkins all moved from SmackDown to Raw.
It's about time Raw faces the facts.
What do you mean when you say lower card?
Like guys that aren't good. Not necessarily not good. Guys,
I think they're good.
Guys who are incapable of being put into a storyline because they smile.
What do you mean by
much.
storyline?
When I mean storyline, I mean like your friendships. You know how they're predetermined.
Yeah, like they're like natural.
Matt, I got to talk to you about wrestling off air, dude, because
Okay.
I think there's a lot of things that you're not picking up on about professional wrestling.
Well,
That's a shoot.
sounds real to me. So.
So who picked up their bags and moved to Tuesday nights?
Hold on, I want to hear this. Hey Matt, this is for you.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Because you're a Mark. All right. There was 13.
I told you that would come in handy.
Yeah, it worked.
Yeah.
13 superstars moved from Raw to SmackDown, which I was surprised that they got more. But they included the U.S. champion Kevin Owens, which we kind of assumed because of Dean Ambrose moving over. Charlotte Flair, The New Day, Rusev and Lana, Sami Zayn, The Shining Stars, Sin Cara, Jinder Mahal, and Tamina. So,
welcome back to Mina.
Yeah. Both shows got some lower card guys, but some upper mid card guys got shipped as well.
So right off the bat, you and I were texting about this earlier this week, and you guys can obviously jump in with how you feel about this. We were talking earlier about winners and losers from this right off the bat. So,
I did say that I would get different answers than what you did, but I had to copy one of them because it was just so bad.
It's probably the same one that I'm thinking of. Who was your biggest loser from this?
The biggest loser, I think, is Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
Because you're going from the main event picture on SmackDown, and in the middle of you don't even have your rematch yet, and they ship you to the other show.
Yeah.
Total back burner. You're guaranteed going to lose your rematch.
Yeah.
It's pretty much signed. You're already moving on to your next feud with Finn Balor.
Yeah, Finn Balor's still on.
I mean,
on
that's
Raw,
great that
so.
he's going in a feud with Finn Balor. That's a high-profile feud.
But he's going to lose.
It's for nothing, and of course he's going to lose.
Yeah.
I feel really bad for anybody who's in this upper mid card / main event scene on Raw, because if your name's not Roman Reigns or whoever Brock Lesnar's squishing every other month, then you're not you're not like in the title picture at all. And like
If you're not the big dog,
yeah,
There's only one big dog.
what does that make you?
it makes
you a small dog.
it's a very small dog.
So Roman,
Yeah,
he's the guy. He should be the guy.
He's the biggest dog.
he is the
He's
biggest,
the biggest dog in the yard.
It's his yard.
It's his yard.
Yeah,
It's the best.
Braun
Roman all
Strowman's
day.
pretty big, guys.
He's
Braun
we were talking-
Strowman
Braun
does
Strowman.
a lot of interesting things on Monday.
Braun Strowman gets a lot.
Joe. I'm not finished with you. I feel so bad for Joe. Joe just
Braun
wants to eat his food.
Strowman whooped the
Oh my god.
piss out of Roman Reigns.
That
So
was-
him popping back up in that whole I'm not finished with you bit is
the great-
just as good as Dean Ambrose bursting out of that
from
the
the-
present,
yeah.
the Hulk Hogan present he burst out of to attack Seth Rollins.
Which
oh
is
my
like,
god.
we have a group chat amongst the group of us, and whenever it's somebody's birthday, that is the first GIF that gets posted in the group chat is Dean Ambrose popping out of the present and attacking Seth Rollins. It's classic
Top
classic
notch.
stuff.
Are you familiar, David?
No, not at all.
Okay.
So I would put the Braun Strowman segment from Monday up there with some of my favorite Monday Night Raw segments of all time. I'm talking like Kurt Angle coming out with the milk truck. I'm talking like Stone Cold Steve Austin throwing the belt into the river. I'm talking This Is Your Life with The Rock and Mick Foley. Like, these are some of my favorite segments of all time.
The Kiss My Ass match.
Oh my God, this segment. So here's how the segment went. So it starts out with Roman Reigns getting interviewed by Michael Cole. About 3 seconds into the interview, Braun Strowman comes out and absolutely murders Roman Reigns.
Well, not absolutely.
But he in case you haven't watched the segment,
It's brutal.
it's
and it's
fantastic.
beautiful.
So then they pull off Braun Strowman after a while. EMTs are taking care of him. Referees are, in NXT, soon to be shown on NXT TV, call-ups are attending to him and stuff like that. And then Braun Strowman comes back for round 2 and just...
What does he say?
I'm not finished with you! just annihilates Roman Reigns, throws like a cart into him. They finally stretcher up Roman Reigns. They're getting ready to take him out of here. Braun pushes the
does he say it
freaking
again?
stretcher.
He's like, I'm still not
Let's
done.
keep it going. Run it again. I'm not finished with you! Just throws the stretcher off of the loading dock.
Lands face first
Yeah.
down. You would die. The weight of that cart and the weight of his body smashing on his own
my
face.
God. That's a big dog to throw. How is PETA not involved in
From
this, by the way?
a
The
production
biggest
standpoint, they fit some really good cuts in there.
They really did.
Yeah, I mean, other than the placement of the...
The stretcher.
Well, let's just pretend it's real. Roman is probably going to be
Off of the
recovering for a couple months, maybe years.
Normally, I would agree with you, but this is Roman Reigns we're talking about. He's
He'll be
probably
on
going to beat
Raw.
the club in a handicap match next week.
For the tag titles?
Yep, single-handedly.
He gets his rematch on them and wins the tag
He
belts.
is the tag team champions. So then, so they
They're not the
load
champs.
Roman up into the stretcher. They load him on the stretcher and then finally tilt it back up, put it into the ambulance, and
then what
What should
happens?
happen again?
And then
I'm not finished with you! Braun Strowman comes out with all the strength of 1,000 suns and flips over the goddamn ambulance.
it was the greatest wrestling moment of
The month?
year. The year so far?
It's been a good year so
I liked
far.
it better
That was-
than
It's up
anything at
there.
WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I mean, the Hardys coming was pretty
It was
cool.
pretty good, but holy
Dean Ambrose
cow.
doesn't burst out in any presence.
Did
this year,
anybody
so-
hope that they would have actually, after that, loaded the ambulance into another ambulance?
they got a tow truck,
They put it on a tow truck.
a flatbed tow truck
While
for the
he's in
And then
ambulance.
Braun flips over the tow truck.
What would Braun say before he did it?
I was really hoping for like a recreation. What would he have said? I don't know.
What would Braun say?
I'm not finished with you. we're gonna drive that one into the ground. Oh, it's so good.
I like that soundbite. We should use it
The
all the
only
time.
thing that would have made that segment more perfect is if they would have shown Roman in the hospital, and then they reenacted the scene with Stone Cold and Vince
Beats him
McMahon
with the
in the hospital
bedpan.
and hits him with the bedpan, like don't worry, nurse, I got it from here, and then beats the hell out of Roman Reigns. with
What
a
would he
bedpan.
say when he...
I'm not finished with you.
Why isn't Raw 3 hours of rad shit happening every single week?
Forget about the shitty
I don't
wrestlers.
know.
No,
man.
I don't want a 17-minute Dolph Ziggler match ever in my
Yeah,
time.
I
But I
don't-
sat through literally thousands of them.
What if it was against
They're all the
Shinsuke Nakamura?
That would be even worse
Oh.
because I don't like the Japanese.
Whoa.
Well, I know it's a hot take. Somebody's gonna have
Someone's gonna have a
This has been,
someone's gonna have a terrible opinion.
terribly
this is
awesome.
good.
opinion.
Terribly honest.
Yeah.
All right. Any
We're
what
gonna hit the future endeavors button for
my other loser there, Travis. My other loser, other than Bray Wyatt, I had Kurt Hawkins, who was a jobber on SmackDown and debuted as a jobber on Raw. Like literally
Yeah.
went there and got knocked out by Big
All right,
Show.
so-
A very lateral move.
He could have won his match on Raw, and they could have started building him into something worth
Hey,
something.
Listen, man, you got to have a curtain jerker.
So
You
I found
can't
a
just,
a video of a Silent Library from years ago, and it was WWE superstars, and it was
Oh.
Dolph and Kalen, who you may know as Fandango, and Kurt Hawkins, and
not Johnny Curtis.
and JTG.
You found it on
and,
YouTube or something?
Yeah, Chris Masters. I feel like there was one more, but I was like,
I'm gonna watch that.
that's Kurt Hawkins. He was terrible.
He had long
back,
hair?
Yeah,
Looked like
he was
Edge?
terrible back then.
He's an
been around
edgehead.
a
still
while.
terrible.
yeah,
Who was the other edgehead?
it was Ryder. Yeah.
Oh, Zack Ryder. That's right. Duh.
Idiot. You dumb Mark.
So,
The Major Brothers.
who are your losers? You had Bray, and who was the other
I
one?
said Bray Wyatt because he's just going to get lost in the shuffle on Raw. Like it could be good for him. It could be like a good resetting point, and kind of like the last month or two of his booking on SmackDown has been like
Should have wrapped that up
they
before
did
they
so
moved him.
well with him up until WrestleMania, and then they just pissed the bed.
Do you remember when The Undertaker had the Ministry and he didn't wrestle like a single match
Right.
for like a year?
That's
Maybe
true.
do you think
And
that's
that's very possible.
you're giving WWE Creative way too much credit?
Jimmy
Yeah.
Jacobs works for WWE Creative, so he's a zombie princess.
Oh.
None of our listeners know who that is.
Tell him to get a good storyline going for Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, Jimmy, get it together, buddy.
I know you're listening. I know you're listening right now.
Best friend Jimmy Jacobs.
So, yeah, my other loser was Jinder Mahal. Going from Raw to SmackDown.
So loser in
I
general.
think Jinder Mahal is going to do well. He's in a pretty decent feud with Mojo and Gronk.
I just he had a lot of
least it's
momentum.
funny.
He had a lot of momentum going on Raw up until he concussed Finn Balor.
Yeah, that just happened.
And then just to kind of like, in my opinion, to shift him to another show where he has to start fresh is kind of, you're not carrying any of that momentum with you, really.
Let's fantasy book. Let's say we have Jinder Mahal and Mr. Abs himself, Tony Nese,
yeah.
and they just are the ultimate specimen tag team. How about that?
Well, one's on Raw and one's on SmackDown. So
Well, that's
not
why we
really
do
gonna-
another shakeup. I say next week we do a new shakeup.
Another shakeup.
We just
and we
move
put
Tony Nese
Nese
on SmackDown.
Why don't we just give Tony Nese? There's no wrestling on Thursday night.
Tony
You could
Nese
have
could be
Tony
the
Nese
star of
Thursday.
Thunder.
Yeah, Thursday Night Thunder with Tony Nese and his abs.
I would trade Jinder Mahal to Swerved. I could not believe when this man was rehired. I'm still kind of baffled by it.
The three-man band.
Thinking about it,
they're all back.
They're the three-man brand because they are all on different shows right now. You got Heath Slater's
yeah,
on Raw now,
you're right.
Jinder Mahal's on SmackDown, and they just signed Drew McIntyre back to NXT.
Yeah, Drew McIntyre.
So-
made
So
his,
trade them all to
debut.
Swerved.
Trade them all to Swerved, and then just nothing but
Actually,
three-man
Heath
band.
Slater would do well on Swerved. He's a
probably-
funny
he's
guy.
a funny
I don't
dude.
care about his wrestling. He's got kids, and he needs this job.
But as long as you keep Rhino with him, I'm sold. Let's do it. Rhino plays their like disgruntled, upset roadie who used to be something. He just loads in all like the equipment and stuff like that for them. So
Nice.
you like that?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let's go over our shakeup winners.
So my
Just give me one.
what was the one I said? I can't remember.
Mine first one is Sami Zayn.
Sami Zayn's a big winner in this. Actually,
He's been talking about going to SmackDown for a while, and I think he will be elevated towards the top of the card there.
I was sold on Sami Zayn on SmackDown the second I saw him in a triple threat with AJ Styles. Him and AJ Styles immediately have just, I mean, their style already is
I wonder if they've ever wrestled before.
I don't think they have. No, this is like the first time seeing them square off against each other. And
I wonder
I
if there's any way we
think
could figure that out.
they have had, I'm sure they have in like probably ROH or
Right. I that's what I meant.
somewhere before,
Yeah, I don't-
but they have really, really good chemistry with one another already, just right off the bat.
I think he'll do well. And
What else did I say?
the New Day. I said the New Day was my other one.
I think I said Dean Ambrose.
You did say Dean, which is silly. That's a bad answer.
I say that not because of necessarily Dean Ambrose, but because of what he brings with him, and that is the Intercontinental. Oh, damn, that did actually happen before.
Where?
AJ Styles versus Sami Zayn on Raw, April 11th in 2016.
Oh, damn, it did happen before.
Thanks, Matt.
I kind of forget AJ was even on Raw. He's a staple of SmackDown Live. Am I right, Dave?
Yeah, of course.
It's a face.
The blue team.
What do you? No, yep.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No. I think another. Well, go ahead.
What I was saying, and this is why I think Dean Ambrose benefits from the trade, is not because he's Dean Ambrose, but because he has the Intercontinental Championship and he's on Raw, where your de facto main
He's gonna
title,
lose it in a sec.
Your de facto, yeah, but until then, he's still going to be in the Intercontinental Championship picture for the foreseeable future. So that is going to be de facto the belt on Raw because Brock Lesnar can't be bothered to show up more than like once every 3 months. So
I guess so.
I feel
I
like
don't think he's going to be the guy who's doing it, who's carrying it.
well, he'll be around it.
Braun Strowman's going to
What else
destroy
you gonna do with him? Just have him back up
Roman.
Roman-
He's not done with Roman yet.
Yeah.
And
He's not finished with him?
No, Braun's not done with
Braun
Roman.
Strowman isn't finished with. If only we had a soundbite to like convey that message.
Which about it not being through?
I'm not finished with you!
So he beats Roman Reigns, and then he is the number one contender for the IC belt.
Yeah.
And he literally skull humps.
Skull humps.
Let's use that word.
It's a good word.
Dean Ambrose, and then he just is the champion for the rest of time.
Is sex with his head?
No, I mean,
That's
yeah.
what he's gonna do.
He
with
for-
one of the holes.
He's not done
cranial
with you
cranial fornication, if you will.
Just one?
Cranial. Well, one at a time.
Okay, all right. That makes sense.
Right. Anyway.
No, come on.
I would say, though, the big winner of the Superstar shakeup is Kevin Owens.
You think so?
Yeah, because on Raw, when they bring back the nostalgia acts, they bring back the Goldberg,
Yeah.
the Brock Lesnar, part-time guys, they're always on Raw, and they're always going to be higher priority than
That's
Kevin
true.
Owens.
He got screwed.
He escapes to SmackDown.
And he can be the face of the place.
He's the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put him
Well,
up there
AJ.
with AJ. And
AJ's the guy, but yeah, he got screwed. He lost his U.S. title because Goldberg needed to headline WrestleMania
Oh, he needed it
more
prompt.
than KO. Yeah.
playing into the open atmosphere of this episode, how great is Greg Hamilton on SmackDown, ring announcer?
He's great.
Oh yeah, he's
fantastic.
good. He's really good.
I've loved him since
You're right.
NXT.
Yeah.
But he makes like some of the best calls and just like the best announcements I have ever heard.
We should try to get him on the show.
His
Matt,
I know.
can you,
I know a guy.
Matt, could you text him?
yeah,
Yeah.
text him please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Insider Matt, good friend.
Thank you.
Good thing the cameras aren't rolling.
Yeah.
Oh, he's in it. Oh, he's actually
Matt's
FaceTiming
actually-
the guy right
Matt's-
now.
Oh, hey, Greg.
Matt's taking off his shirt. Matt, why are you taking off your shirt?
Guys, you got to make sacrifices for the show.
I am now cutting off Phyllis's head with a chainsaw.
No one watches The Office.
We watch The Office.
Oh,
I like my entertainment to be sweaty and performed by 30-year-old men.
yes. Let's
anyway.
move on to another subject.
So speaking of things being shaken up, something that's been a persistent topic of discussion amongst our friend group and amongst wrestling fans for the past year is the quality of the NXT brand over the past year. There's been a lot of discussion on the NXT brand kind of taking like a dip.
Yeah,
Especially like post-Mania.
it goes up and down. I think.
Yeah,
It's a roller
I
coaster.
have some notes here.
Real quick, Dave, did you watch NXT at all?
I watched the specials,
Yeah.
but I've not watched the weekly show since there stopped being a reason to.
Oh, so it's been a while.
What was
Yeah,
your
it's been a reason.
what were your reasons for tuning in? Like, were there like certain guys or?
I like the guys. The
Bailey.
stories made sense.
Was it Bailey? It was
I-
Bailey.
Well, the
I
writer,
cared about the characters, such
Yeah.
as Bailey.
the old Bailey, or not the old Bailey, the old writer from NXT is
The
now the
old
writer
Bailey,
for SmackDown. So he writes for SmackDown now,
Vince
the
Russo.
main writer. Not Vince Russo.
Actually, Vince Russo.
It's
Bro,
not Vince
bro,
Russo.
we got a great idea for SmackDown, bro.
Entertainment.
It's called a wacky inflatable arm flailing tube man on a pole match.
You're gonna love it.
When I see David Arquette holding the WWE title, that's when I know I'm done. I just tune out. I'm done.
I think I'd probably stick around a couple more weeks, see how it pans out. What are they gonna do with this?
Just until Scott Steiner gets it.
Let's just see where this goes, guys.
Okay, so real quick, I just want to read over the roster that was on the NXT TakeOver Dallas show, which is the one before WrestleMania last year.
yeah.
We had American Alpha versus the Revival, Austin Aries versus Baron Corbin,
So all four, all six guys so far are on the main roster.
Shinsuke Nakamura versus Sami Zayn,
Main roster, both on SmackDown.
Asuka versus Bailey,
Asuka should be coming up soon, but yeah.
Finn Balor versus Someone Joe.
Wow.
So the
everyone-
entirety, sans Asuka,
Wow.
is on the main roster now. And then, not to mention right after that in July, so that was in April. July, they had the inaugural brand split and draft,
Yeah.
which saw Finn Balor, American Alpha, Nia Jax, Alexa Bliss, Mojo Rawley, and Carmella
Come up
come
from
up
NXT.
from NXT to the main roster. The only other notable note that I have here is that Bobby Roode made his first appearance on NXT TV
That day,
in
yeah.
August. Well, he was on, but his first match for
wrestling,
NXT was
not in the
in
audience.
August.
Yeah.
So, where do you guys? So obviously that took a big hit to the NXT roster
sure.
immediately after you had Kevin Owens on the main show at that point, Finn, Sammy.
I feel
a
like
lot
they're
of
just
your-
now rebuilding it. Like we're getting to where we're starting to stack that card
and
up.
that's kind of what I wanted to open up the floor to right now. Is where you guys think the NXT roster is right now, 1 year removed from NXT TakeOver Dallas.
So I think an important thing to point out is that in the meantime, Triple H is scouting talent.
He is
He's constantly scouting talent worldwide. Him, William Regal,
the UK tournament being a big
Sho
part of it.
Funaki.
Yeah.
The UK tournament, the cruiserweight tournament, they're
got
having
a
a
women's,
women's tournament
yep.
this summer.
Yep.
So they've been constantly just looking for new people. Alistair Black was at the UK tournament.
Yeah.
And they've got all of Mustache Mountain.
And they've had pretty much
and
all
of
the- they've
British
had all
Strong
of them.
Style, yeah.
And they're all still
Mark
wrestling in
Andrews.
their original
Wolfgang.
Promotions.
They actually
Exactly.
just had a match over was it last night or the night before?
the
where
club?
the Elite.
Oh my God,
The
yes.
Elite versus
Bullet Club?
British Strong Style, yeah.
Which is the closest we will get
Who
to a New
won?
Japan Pro
Do you know
Wrestling
who won?
versus WWE match.
I saw the posters for it.
I believe the Elite won.
did.
that would make
Yeah,
sense.
I think it was a Meltzer driver to a. I think Pete Dunne ate the One Wing Angel.
Oh,
Sorry.
Did anybody see that picture? Sorry, off topic. Did anybody see the picture of Sami Callihan and Pete Dunne together?
No.
The other night, they wrestled as a tag team last night, and they were team. What do they call
Dunn
them?
and Sami Callihan.
Yeah,
They were
And
a tag team?
they painted cat faces on, like with whiskers and noses. It's the cutest thing.
That is
So
And it was
so Sammy is in UK right now. 'cause
Sammy is in the UK. They're
doing
at
a tour.
Revolution Pro last night. Yep.
Oh, that's sweet.
yeah.
I love Sami Callihan.
Sammy Callahan's been getting a
He
lot.
spits on
Unabashedly.
people.
He is a gross dude.
He will spit.
He is
A
great.
real loogie right there.
Last I saw him was at the Rockstar
Oh, God.
5-year anniversary
Yeah.
show where he won the belt off of
Where he murdered.
where he actually
he murdered Zach.
Zachary Wentz.
What was
Joe,
the
do we have the
sickest
ability
dude.
to Skype people in?
Yeah.
I bet we could get Sammy on.
Right now?
No, not right now.
I bet
No,
we can
but
call him
it-
right now.
Call him right now.
I'll see what I can do.
All right, that'd be fantastic. I would
my
love to have Sammy.
God.
Yeah.
So
What was his name when he was in NXT?
Solomon Crowe.
Crowe.
Solomon Crowe.
And then his name on Lucha Underground is Jeremiah Crane.
Yes.
So something with
Is
like,
that Eva
He
Lisa's
was like
boyfriend?
a hacker in NXT, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
He had,
kind
like-
of his,
he had
He's
terrible hair.
great.
Yeah.
You know, he had an interview where he talked about how at that point in time in NXT, you had to create a new character. You had to
Yeah.
be something new. So if
Right.
you were already established on the indies, it didn't matter.
Right, you're getting a whole new character.
And then he chipped his tibia, and then he was shelved for a year, and then he came back, and it was like
They
was
were
nothing
letting
there.
Kevin Owens
They were
come
letting
in as
Kevin
like,
Owens and
basically
Sami
doing
Zayn.
Kevin Steen, but
Exactly. They were just letting all these other guys come in and do their own thing.
well,
So,
no, because Sami Zayn's not.
well,
Sami
yeah,
Zayn,
not
El
Sami
Generico.
Zayn.
But that-
But
that-
they know they made
that would
Sammy
be-
change his finisher.
That would
they
be an-
said no, you can't do the stretch muffler. You have to do that
Haluva kick.
Sammy Callahan.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah,
You
yeah.
have to do the cannonball thing off the ropes. You can't do the stretch muffler, which
What's
is an
the stretch
awesome
muffler?
finisher move. It's basically a
sure
single
I've seen
leg
it.
crab, but you put their leg over the back of your neck.
Oh yeah, it's a good move.
I like that.
Very good
so
move.
it's awesome. Anyway, sorry, I went way off talking.
no, that's
But no, Callahan was like one of those like guys who got into NXT at the wrong time.
Exactly,
Like, it was
just way too early.
like and now like some guys we've seen come back, like Cassius Ono has come back and has actually been able to succeed the second time around in NXT.
I wish they would let him keep his other name.
No, I like the fact
Chris
that because that lets him keep his indie persona
Yes.
separate from the WWE persona, and I'm totally for that.
Are they both chubby
Because
guys?
if he decides to go back to the indies, Chris Hero is a brand name that he could just slap right onto a poster and get booked.
Is he actively trying to look as fat as possible? Like,
Absolutely.
is that
I
the
just
gimmick?
don't get his attire. Like you can adjust.
The white
fat guys wrestle,
Yeah,
and
the
they don't
white basketball jersey.
tuck in,
changes
so you can
colors.
see.
Dude,
He tucks. It's tucked in.
Here's
it's
the thing.
just not
He's
a
in
good
oh, see,
idea.
under his moves.
Yeah, like you can see it like
First and
under.
foremost,
Guys, Cassius Onus can go.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
care how big. he
One,
is.
I
he's
under-
in a lot better
great,
shape
that's
now.
true.
I was watching footage of him from he did some shows with the Hardys over this past summer before he came back to NXT. He's in a much better shape now than he was.
I would say that Kevin Owens looks like he's in better shape than Cassius Ono because it's a uniform shape. It's not like blobs of.
Look, Corey, round is a shape.
I'm just saying, and that's why Kevin Owens is in shape.
But
Yes.
that brings me to the greater point now. So now let's look at the main event roster on NXT and people who are in that main event conversation. You have Cassius Ono, you have Tommy Ender now as he's in NXT, Alistair Black. You have Hideo Itami's coming back. You have Bobby Roode as your NXT champion. You have Ty Dillinger. Well, Ty Dillinger's gone now. He's on
Gonzo.
SmackDown now. But you have who am I thinking?
Authors of Pain. Did you already say them?
No, I'm talking about just like the main event, like the
That's a main event.
Well,
Tag team is
what
the
I-
best division on NXT.
Let it- you
I
know-
would argue that right
Well, not
now
anymore.
the NXT tag team division is probably the weakest it's been in a long time.
We'll let Oni Lorcan be up there too.
Oni Lorcan, you could throw him in there.
He's on 205 Live now. isn't
Andrade
he? Or-
Almas would be in that conversation. Who else I'm thinking of? This is gonna bother me.
Murphy?
Sanity.
Murphy. yeah.
Eric Young. Eric Young could be in that
UI.
conversation. So
The Murph Dog.
I think it's been a bumpy year. I think there was a period of time where you had Joe, Naka, and Rude kind of carrying the NXT like heavyweight, like the men's division.
Oh, Roddy.
Oh, and Roddy Strong.
Roddy,
Yeah.
Rowdy
Roddy
Strong.
Strong.
Yeah, Roddy Strong. So I would argue now that at this juncture right now that the NXT main event scene is probably stronger than it was a year ago with all
Agreed.
this influx of talent
I
coming in.
agree as well. I think it'll play out over the next 6 months, and we'll see it. It's hard because there's no secondary singles belt.
There really isn't.
So you have
everybody's...
one belt that everyone's going after. There's not room
It's a
for
UK
everybody.
championship.
So there's gonna.
And a huge problem with NXT structure is the only time that belt's going to change hands is on a live special.
Pretty much.
So you have 4 months of programming.
It happens,
That is
but-
just
Unless you're in like
Pointless.
Wisconsin.
No, unless you're in like
that-
Massachusetts where they
is that-
literally had to change hands on a house show.
Samoa Joe, yeah.
Samoa Joe, yeah.
was
They
gonna say, there's
didn't
more of
even
a
tape
precedent
it
of a hand
properly.
changing
your
hands on
weekly
house
TV
show.
show, though.
This
as
is
those
true.
specials
You
have
will
gone on,
never actually see it change hands on
it doesn't happen.
Well, the
Yeah.
problem is that it's only an hour long.
It's true, and they're not on every week. You'll go a week without seeing a champion all the time. I mean,
Yep.
they're only on every other week.
So real quick, let's talk about the NXT women's division.
Oh, Ruby Riott.
Oh,
Yes.
she's so good.
Love my
She's
life.
very good.
Don't
But
tell
you
my
have a
wife.
lot, and this piggybacks on what you were talking about earlier with the women's tournament coming up.
Mm-hmm.
This is a good opportunity for them to bolster the roster a little bit more, and it's already looking pretty good. You have Ruby Riott, and
Do
now
you think
have Ember
those women are
Moon.
going to be in the tournament? I don't think it's going to involve.
I think you'll have
current
one
NXT.
or two of the NXT women on the
No,
tournament.
because they can't win. You're not going to have one of your homegrown NXT people win this tournament.
Well, Ruby Riott's not.
I think the
Well,
Ruby
not
Riott
what
thing is
I don't
very
mean
brave.
homegrown, but I mean already
Somebody
signed.
signed to it.
Already
Yeah.
signed, because it's not going to be a big story. Like, oh, well, why'd you even have the tournament?
I think this Ruby Riott thing is really brave because, as far as I know, there's never been a trans competitor in WWE.
Oh my
So
god.
I think that's brave. And
Did you
beautiful
assume
Hot
Ruby
takes.
Riott's
Did you assume her gender?
her gender?
No, but I did assume her Mahal.
Would that be a hard potty Mahal or just a normal Mahal?
That's a soft body.
All right.
Let's just say I don't care. Ruby Riott's
Although,
great.
joking aside, it is interesting to see, like, would you have seen a girl like Ruby Riott in WWE 5 years ago?
No, because it was more popular 5 years ago and they made better decisions.
Oh,
That's why the ratings go down 10% every year.
Bra and panties matches was what pulled Dave Crumbly in.
The
Oh, hey,
numbers
Mark.
don't lie.
Oh, hey, Mark.
I would like to have like a segment where Dave and I just like go back and forth on whether or not the Attitude Era was good.
Oh, it's incredible.
It's so bad, man. We've progressed so much. So much.
Only wrestling fans would be self-loathing enough to, hey, the one time we had mainstream cultural relevance?
I don't want
that was
mainstream-
actually shit.
Yeah.
I don't
That
want
was
mainstream
actually
cultural
bad.
relevance. I want my obscure little wrestling thing that only like.
When the Seattle Mariners won 113 games, as far as I'm concerned, that was their worst season.
Oh man, but I think the NXT Women's Division is going to look a lot better now because you do have Ruby Riott.
Asuka needs to go.
Asuka needs to get out
They
of
need
there.
to get rid
and
of
they
her
need to-
contract and send her back to wherever she comes from.
Tomorrow.
Yeah,
She's the Empress of
she's
there.
the Empress of Tomorrow.
She needs to leave.
She's a time traveler, Corey.
She doesn't speak the language.
No, Jesus.
She doesn't.
Dude, she speaks the
We
only
need to
language you
send
need
her
to-
back home and then build a wall.
No,
Wall.
nothing against. She cannot be in a speaking role on television if you cannot
Lord.
speak the language that you are. Like, it's to get her a manager. We
She-
talked about Paul Heyman being her manager, and
She
she's
should be
the female
traded to
Brock
North
Lesnar.
Korea.
That's fine.
Yeah.
She speaks the
Get her
only
off TV.
language you need to speak in the WWE, and that's a kick to the head, my friend. Like
She could
that's-
kick me in the head, and I guarantee it wouldn't hurt. That's a challenge, Oscar.
Oh
Come
my-
to the show and kick me in the head. I dare you. I double dog
I
dare
see
you.
right through your veiled attempt to get Asuka to come onto our show, and it's not going to work.
She wouldn't come on the show. She doesn't even understand what I'm saying to her right now.
good
And if
Lord.
she did, she can come find. I'll send the address. The address is 123 Main Street.
It's 123 Fake Street.
Bad Street, USA.
Heel Avenue. Find it.
All I'm hearing is egg roll, egg roll, egg roll. It's not good. It's not good. It's not good.
Well, that has
that
been
your-
Audio Suplex Live. This has been our
That's
roundtable.
the last
That's our
episode.
final
This is
episode.
our final episode.
Wow,
no.
David.
Jesus.
Speaking of offensive things, let's just really bury the show. The JBL Mauro Ranallo situation. Rumors are current that the WWE is trying to shut up Mauro Ranallo.
They're trying to
Pay him off, so
like
he
an
won't-
off, like an behind the scenes settlement.
Here you go. Don't say anything bad about John Bradshaw Layfield.
Now, maybe this is the, without getting too much into our political beliefs or whatever, maybe this is like the bleeding heart liberal in me that says, I think we can, it's 2017, we can leave the old boys way of like bullying people and hazing people and stuff like that in the past, and like, especially knowing how WWE presents itself from its corporate standpoint with the Be a Star campaign and every philanthropic endeavor that they pour themselves into. You literally undo every last bit of that when you have JBL shoving soap up people's asses.
I think they undid that when they gave $5 million to Donald J. Trump, and then Vince McMahon's wife literally works in the cabinet.
Yeah.
So I think that if they want to be philanthropic, they can like not do that, and they can pay taxes, and they can have their wrestlers be employees instead of independent contractors to give them benefits. Like that would be philanthropic. What
that would
be a
really
star
good.
is and all that stuff that is public relations.
It is
That's true.
100%
You know, I
the
think,
publicity front.
And-
Stephanie McMahon was on record where she said that the best way to
It was
be
it was something that she retweeted from one of the founders of Twitter, where it basically said like,
You're not going to let him say it?
No, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
You cut him
no,
off
no,
so
no,
you
no,
can
no.
say it.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Tell me.
The
Matt.
best publicity is philanthropy,
Yeah.
because you don't have to actually be good. You can just give money places
And it
and let
actually-
other things talk for you.
Makes you look good.
I usually hate people who use this phrase, but virtue signaling.
Yeah.
That's literally what it is. You say, hey, we're good guys, we're good people. That's
kind of
kinda
like-
all that matters.
it's like
Is that why
every-
John Cena does all those Make-A-Wishes?
I think John Cena's actually a good person.
Yeah,
but they put it on
would argue that he's
television
an okay dude.
You're
for
right.
that specific
You're
reason.
right. You're right.
But it does
Look what
help.
John Cena did. He's our main guy. We pay him billions of dollars.
And he does like 5,000 Make-A-Wishes in a week.
That's true. He
The
does do
whole conceit of wrestling is bullying.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's the whole point. It's physical menacing. The weak should fear the strong.
And
that's the whole.
And occasionally the weak wins.
Yeah,
You know, you get
that's-
the David and Goliath is your biblical.
So occasionally Joey Styles knocks out JBL.
it happens.
But the whole central conceit of their industry is bullying.
In theory,
So I don't-
It's,
I don't
it's
see
good
how you-
versus evil. It's trash talking. It's
yeah.
it's
I'm
all
better
it's-
than you.
Yeah.
People dropping dead at 45.
And I
Jesus.
think
But this is everybody's. This Mauro
Oh,
Ronaldo
hot take,
thing,
Dave.
This is everybody's breaking point. Like a business where everybody dies at 45 and leaves their family penniless. Like this is what breaks into the mainstream.
You pick on the announcer that makes rap references, and suddenly it's like a huge thing.
Mamma mia.
Yeah, it's great. And he's bad also
No.
as well.
Objectively speaking,
he's an objectively bad announcer.
You think so?
He
I think it's
won
fantastic.
announcer of the year, and that's what ticked JBL off.
In a
Wrestling
fan
Observer
voted.
Awards.
I voted for
Oh
him.
yeah, I voted for him.
I've-
I love
I've
Mauro.
several polls and
Big
tolls.
tolls,
Oh, hey,
polls.
Mark.
Who brags about the Wrestling Observer Award on Twitter? I mean, it's just it's a mark behavior.
Yeah.
He is a mark.
And of all this bullying stuff, also we don't know what JBL did or
This
didn't
is
do. All we
all-
know is that 30 seconds on that show on the
Well,
network.
there's more to it than that though, because you have Justin Roberts who just came out with his book.
Did they
that
edit that
has-
out of the special that they?
I haven't.
They did
I
not.
haven't
I just
rewatched
watched it the other day.
Oh,
It's still up there.
You have Justin Roberts who's basically alleging a lot of like bullying from JBL, and then there are like
It's in books.
numerous. Yeah, the Hardys have stories about it in their book.
Totally, but all of that is the past. Like in this specific instance, what did JBL do or didn't do? I don't know. And the fact that people are calling for this guy's job based on this specific instance, it's lunacy to me.
Right, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of the straw that broke the camel's back, though. It's finally something that people, oh, well, I kind of care about this. Ronaldo is famous
You also-
outside of the wrestling
Dave, you
world.
have to also remember though that this is the information age. So like when these stories of like the Hardys like getting like
15
hazed by him or
years
something
ago.
like that, there wasn't Twitter for everybody to put a convenient hashtag on it and jump onto a common cause.
When Bruiser Brody
So-
got murdered in a shower room, nobody was Snapchatting it or on Facebook Live.
So there's like it's much easier now for people, and this gets into a whole nother discussion about whether or not we're all just keyboard, justices or whatever. Like it's easier for everybody to jump onto a cause now. Like if one person sees like, oh, he bullied my favorite announcer, hashtag fire.
I just
JBL.
wish they'd pick a better cause, though. Pick
there's-
a better cause, like Mick Foley doesn't have health insurance.
Right.
I think
but-
that's a good cause. Like,
Yeah.
And I
Perry
think
Perry
geek
Saturn is
announcer got-
dying.
Well,
Yeah,
okay.
Perry Saturn's dead, but some geek announcer.
Okay, Perry Saturn dying doesn't offend me though.
Yeah.
You know, Mick Foley not having health insurance, that doesn't offend me.
You're personally offended by?
No, but I didn't say personally offended, but like the thought of him not having health insurance, that does not offend me. You know,
Yeah.
I feel bad for the guy.
I agree to that point. I think there are much bigger fish to fry when we're looking at this industry as a whole. Like, is bullying part? But it's also,
But was he even bullied?
that's his.
I don't
I've
think what
seen it on
JBL said.
TV.
I don't think that was
Well,
bullying.
but then
though.
again,
Well, they say it's
that
his
was
character.
a heel promo.
Well,
and
yeah,
if you
what's-
can't like, and I know Morrow's think he's bipolar,
Yeah.
but this is the wrestling business. If you can't be healed on, how can you have a role on the show? Because at some point, somebody's going to heal on you. It's
Yeah.
television. It's
It
entertainment.
just depends on if, because we obviously don't know what happens when the cameras are off. Is that relationship the same off camera as it is on camera? Or do we see
No,
does
that's
JBL snap out of whatever his heel
and
character
that's-
is when he's
that's
in the real
what-
world?
That's what a lot of the, aside from the Mauro Ronaldo stuff, that's what a lot of the allegations are. Is that
That's
the,
him all the time.
The
That's
character
just he's an
behind, yeah, there's a lot of people who allege that he's kind of like the bully or the gatekeeper of the locker room. So some would argue that it is from the perspective of toughening the guys up and making sure that they can handle life on the road and handle the stress and stuff that comes with that working in that industry. But then there is also the argument that it's 2017. Is there any place for that in today's world? It's a very
They
different
fired
world.
Bill DeMott, right?
Yeah, they fired Bill DeMott for pretty much the same thing for him bullying the NXT.
And it wasn't even on TV.
Yeah. But then again, Bill DeMott's not a former multiple-time tag team champion. And
He might have won. The
He was
tag
Hugh
team
Morris. He's no laughing matter,
no,
Travis.
listen.
What was his other name?
Huge erection.
Huge Erection. Yeah, that's right.
WCW.
He has another name.
Misfits
That's with
in action.
GI Bro, correct?
Hell yeah, it is.
And Major Guns.
Oh my god. Oh,
What was the
speaking
name of that faction?
Misfit in action.
Misfit in Action.
The
yeah,
MIAs.
yeah. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Did you see that Booker T is taking the role of David Otunga on
Yeah,
Raw for the
thank
next
God.
6
Let's
weeks?
make that a permanent
Shucky
thing.
ducky quack quack.
Hey, Shucky Ducky Quack Quack.
Dude, when we
You
during
could replace David Otunga with Plank from Ed, Edd and Eddie, and that would be an infinitely better show.
That's true.
during the Hall of Fame when they were doing Teddy Long's video, like one video from like the 80s at some point in time, he says "Shucky Ducky Quack Quack"
Yeah.
during a promo, and I lost my goddamn mind.
Beautiful. So how do you feel about it?
Thumbs up.
It's
David Otunga, they should get rid of him more than JBL, but they should get rid of
Trade
both.
him to Swerve.
Trade him to Swerve. We need it. Yeah, because he's such a good actor, he'd be able to fool everyone. And the punked.
Anytime you can get Booker T on television, you take the opportunity, man. I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
He's running for mayor of Houston, isn't he, or something soon?
Is he really?
Is he?
He's running for office in Houston. JBL made a joke of that he wanted to move to Houston just so he could not vote for him.
He's bullying Booker T.
I know, right?
And also racist.
It may not have been JBL that said that.
Notwithstanding that his tag team partner for 8 years was a black dude, but
He was also racist against him.
The first African American to win a world title.
that
if I'm not
is
mistaken.
absolutely 100% true.
Yeah.
Damn.
Farouk
Damn.
Ron Simons. He's
He's French.
Ron Simons.
Ron
Oui, oui.
Simons.
Yes, from Montreal Quebec.
Yeah.
French
Montreal Quick.
Most wrestling
Quebec. I said
names.
Quebec.
Most wrestlers' names sound better with a French accent.
Yeah.
So I learned that
Give me
from Maurice.
a couple examples. Now.
Baron Corbin.
Baron Corbin.
Yes.
It sounds like somebody
Baron Corbin.
His name's not Baron Corbin though; it's Corbin.
Corbin.
The
Corbin.
DNA of
Bell-
TNA,
Bell-
Matt Morgan.
Baron Corbin.
Baron Corbin. Hello.
Baron Corbin.
Booker T.
Yes.
Oh man, I read something on.
Marlon.
I saw something on Reddit this week where they're talking about Superstar Shakeup and how Baron Corbin has got to be in hell right now because everybody on the SmackDown roster is a former ROH guy, and Baron Corbin's whole thing is that he hates indie guys.
It's all
so
indie
he's
guys.
just in hell right now. He's just
He's in a locker room full of guys that he's been talking smack
Yeah.
about.
Plus, they all have hair.
yeah, and they all have hair.
Yeah, how
They're
long
not
until we see a
balding.
hair versus hair match featuring Baron Corbin?
Never. That hair gets him so much heel heat just from being shitty.
No, he's gonna shave it.
No.
No.
Keep it shitty forever. People are pissed. We're talking about his hair right now. That's heel heat in and of itself.
But I
the
like
fact that
it.
we are taking more than 30 seconds to talk about Baron Corbin's
What
hair.
if he did the Kurt Angle thing where he gets it shaved and then he comes in with a wig and he's real angry about it and he pretends it's real?
He looks like the one dude from what's that metal band that has the same hair? The dude from you would know, Matt.
He looks like one of the characters from that cartoon Metalocalypse.
Metalocalypse, yeah.
Metalocalypse, yeah.
He looks like Pickles almost.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah, whatever.
He looks like he's on Sons
Look
of
it up.
Anarchy. You've seen his entrance? And he drives his
I
invisible motorcycle
am
down.
American badass, right?
Radio edit.
He should come out
Yeah,
as.
I love
He
that
looks
that
like
was a hit.
Devin Townsend.
I don't know who that is.
He's from what band is he in? Strapping Young Lads. Another
I've never
band,
heard of that
something
band.
like that.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Whatever.
I only listen to Jim Johnston creative compositions.
Him and the CFOs.
These two caught me. I was listening to Shinsuke Nakamura's theme on my way up today.
Disgusting.
I'm such a mark, dude.
Should have listened to
is
Alistair
smart.
Black's theme.
I listen to Shinsuke's theme mostly when I'm at the grocery store.
Really? That's
Yeah,
weird.
it
I
motivates
don't
me.
think I've ever
to,
listened to anything at the grocery store.
I listen. You don't do headphones at the grocery store?
I usually go with my fiance.
No,
and we argue about what food we should buy
Yeah.
and not
We have
eat.
women in our lives.
No.
Yeah, we go there and buy stuff for dinner, and then we get home. We're like, well, we don't. None of that sounds good. Like,
For-
let's go out.
Want to get a pizza?
For us perpetually single guys, when I go to the grocery store, I like
Get
to put
your
in
ramen?
headphones so I don't have to like listen to the grocery store ambience.
Mm-hmm.
So
Picks
I
up
don't
some. He picks up ramen,
You gotta talk to the honeys.
milk.
Milk.
I go to
Butter.
I go to the one grocery store in town that does not have honeys. Trust me.
Do you go to the one on Monroe?
Yeah,
I don't like that
Gotta
one.
go to Fresh Time. I love that place.
that's a little too bougie for me.
chorizo.
I've been eating
That's gonna be closing soon.
vegan
Is
and
it really?
vegetarian meals
Well, because
lately.
Fresh Time is owned by the same people that own Whole Foods, and what
Is it
they do
really?
is they open a Fresh Time first to get
test
people in
the-
the area used to the idea of a fresh food market.
Oh,
Good,
no.
because I love
And
it.
then when you get hooked, they're like, go over to Whole Foods, and then they close the Fresh Time.
I love that they think so little of the Toledo market. They assume we had no fresh food experience.
Right.
Like,
Well,
they
Whole
have to
Foods
ease
is-
us into the concept of it.
They were right.
Considering that we're the town that they test marketed Doritos Locos Tacos in,
It
I
makes
think
sense.
I think it makes sense.
That's fair.
So,
That's fair.
This
We're-
has
we're
nothing
scum,
to
we're
do with
scum.
wrestling, but yeah.
This has been our most like
Well, who cares?
this is good. This is
You know?
fun. We
Look,
listen-
nobody listens to a wrestling podcast that listen to wrestling, you guys.
I
They
listen
want to know about
to,
Devin Townsend
there's
and
a lot
Doritos
of,
Locos
Do
Tacos.
you ever listen to the live audio wrestling, The Law?
Yeah.
No, I
I've
don't.
checked it out.
I only
decent.
listen to Audio Suplex Live.
Oh, well, check out The Law. They're pretty good. They do really long. They're 2 hours long or whatever. But they open their show with like 15 minutes of them just talking.
Bullshitting,
Yeah,
you know.
just talking
Shooting the breeze.
shit.
It's fun.
Yeah.
I know it is. We're talking about our hometown. No one gives a shit.
Yeah.
Actually, anyone that would listen to the show probably is from Toledo, except for our buddy Taylor.
Oh no, we're global, dude. We're worldwide.
T-Mac?
T-Mac, dude,
He
he loves the
listens?
show.
Yeah, he's an avid listener.
He's
Oh,
tweeting them
gosh.
every day.
Shout outs to T-Mac.
Yeah, he's he follows us on Twitter now. He
listens
tweets us show ideas and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, he's a great dude.
We'll get him on the show sometime when he
Love
comes to
to.
Toledo with the Michaels.
Absolutely, come up, man. So
Who's your wrestler of the week? I just want to know.
Wrestler of the
who
week.
is
Tony
it?
Nese is my wrestler of the week every week. Him and Jinder Mahal.
Jesus.
No,
Corey-
seriously, I do.
Corey loves muscly dudes.
Corey loves Tony Nese.
Tony Nese
It
is-
is remarkable.
So, where did I just see Tony Nese? Tony Nese wrestled. I was
In your
watching.
dreams?
Well, yeah, that too. Tony Nese was tag team partners with.
Your fiance
Crap.
In his dream.
in his dream,
Shoot.
in your dream.
You know what? I'm not even gonna try to remember because it would take. too long.
Cucky Reister?
Jesus.
Cucky. Yeah. So he was. Yeah. I don't know. I like Tony Nese.
All right.
He's great.
I got to give the nod to Alistair Black because did you watch NXT
his
this week?
intro. is so
I didn't.
good.
So he
His
had,
intro is great.
they had his debut match on NXT TV this week against some
Nobody.
no name
Local talent.
some
I
low- some
hated it.
enhancement
It was so
talent.
short. I mean, I get it.
Normally, I would hate squash matches like that,
It was a good
but it was
kick.
literally just like a one kick to the face, and then that was it. Just kicked him
a
square
black
in
mass
the
kick.
face. Oh, it was
Yeah.
so good.
I just watched or I read the
And then
results.
incendiary again, and then I started hate moshing in my living room.
You just punch in the air.
Yeah, I started punching the floor and shit like that, back in my hardcore days. Put on some terror shorts and
Oh,
Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
some camo cargo shorts.
Dave, who's your wrestler of the week?
Matt Morgan.
The DNA of TNA.
Does he wrestle still?
I was watching Impact last night, and there was the most.
new?
They brought him back.
There was the most bizarre 8-man tag.
They are going because it was Team Borash versus
Team Josh Matthews,
which is a team that I want to see.
and Team Jeremy Borash consisted of Alberto Del Rio,
Excuse you,
Alberto El Patron.
El Patron,
Did you see his
terrorist
Titantron? It says D Patron.
Del Patron.
No, he's the terrorist of Periscope, dude. Him and Paige have been going live on
Periscope.
The Periscope. And they have been like lighting Triple H's ass up on
I need to
drunken
watch
Periscope. It's great.
Alberto El Patron, Chris Masters,
No.
Matt Morgan, and Magnus.
Oh,
What a random collection of human beings.
This was on this week's episode
Yeah,
of
so
TNA.
last night's Impact.
Literally 6 months ago, that show would have headlined a VFW hall in Iowa and sold out.
So hold on, let me get this straight, Dave.
All 25 seats.
You watched this week's episode of TNA Impact, or it's not TNA Impact,
But didn't catch a
but
single
didn't catch
bit.
the WWE shakeup at all.
I watch most weeks of TNA Impact.
Oh my! Well, if we ever have TNA roundtables, which
I'd be much more useful on that, actually.
So how are they doing with the whole making Impact great again? Is
Oh,
it-
it's a real piece of shit. Awful. It's all. It's weird. It's because if you're of anyone of any talent at all now, you're either in WWE,
Yeah.
or you're in NXT, or you're in one of the
Unless
the Euro
New
thing,
Japan.
or Evolve, or you're locked
Yeah.
into a contract somewhere.
Yeah.
So these are guys who are on local indie level, like mid-level local indie level, but
Right.
they're on television.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's a weird show.
All right. So, Matt, who's your wrestler of the week?
Pete Dunne every week.
Pete Dunne. Pete fucking Dunne,
Pete
dude.
Dunne. What if Pete Dunne and Tony Nese and
Oh my
Jinder
God.
Mahal
No.
were the guys that Triple H took under his wing?
You throw
Triple H.
You throw Alistair Black in there, and I'm just
Alistair Black's there. Corporate Kane is in the
Yeah.
stable.
Yeah.
He's like their accountant.
Joey Abs.
He's running for mayor of the stable.
Joey Abs is coming back.
Joey Abs is the manager.
Yeah.
He's like the muscle.
Oh, that is so good. Matt's showing me the picture of Sami Callihan and Pete Dunne with the cat whiskers on.
I think the world of Pete Dunne. For me, he's the only one of these really small guys who projects like a menace.
Oh, yeah.
Like the rest of these guys, I know I would kick their ass.
Pete Dunne
In
has
any context,
I don't
that the Jack Gallagher,
If you
all
had
those
to.
guys, I would all at the same time. I'm a foot taller than all of them, but Pete Dunne, he's a small guy, but he reminds me of like a Dean Malenko.
He's like
he's
a
little guy
Wolverine.
who would beat the shit out of you.
Yeah.
Like
So,
he's just there's a malice
like
and a
a-
menace to Pete
not to
Dunne.
mention
I like him a
Benoit.
lot.
So it's Dave versus either 50 cruiserweights or one bruiserweight who wins.
The bruiserweight.
The bruiserweight.
Yeah.
He's like
You're damn
he's
right.
like Rhino kind of the way his body is built.
He's
Yeah,
stocky.
he's stout. Yeah.
I'm afraid of him. It is like he's got the mouth guard. He puts his fist up to his head.
Yeah, no, he is infinitely the most punchable face on the planet too.
And he's beautiful.
Yeah, he's a fantastic dude.
He's got acne scars, but
So what else? Anything else we want to cover before we hit the go home signal?
let's do my heel heat with heel Corey.
Oh, you have one this week?
Yeah, I had a couple subjects I just wanted to mention.
So we're gonna. This is a new segment.
Yeah, well, it's a tester segment because I just some things that I disliked about the Superstar shakeup. One, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are still on the same show.
Why?
Bullshit. You're gonna advertise.
This needs to end.
You're advertising that they're never gonna fight again, but they have been fighting nonstop for all of eternity. The other thing I have an upset with, Kalisto and Sin Cara are on different shows. Why not leave Sin Cara so he can at least be in a tag team on Raw?
You need tag teams.
And you'll have Kalisto as the 205 Live guy.
Yeah, no, this is stupid.
Ridiculous.
Because Lucha.
What? Okay, so what have they done since they broke up the Lucha Dragons?
Sin Cara hasn't wrestled on TV
Besides
in
good
probably
lucha
months. Months.
They need to take the damn mask off of him and just put him with Primo Epico, Hunico, Ibico,
Carlito.
Carlito.
Bring Carlito back.
Hunico.
Why aren't the Shining Stars still promoting Puerto Rican tourism?
They're not.
That
They
was
got a
my
blue
favorite
jeans.
thing.
They're not. Now they wear jeans and beat up American Alpha.
Now they're
No shirts,
boring,
jeans, and no
Dean
belt.
Ambrose.
men.
Now they're Los Club. They just come out in suits and beat up people now.
El Gatos. Spanish for the cats.
It's good.
So yeah, and my final thing was Wyatt being traded to Raw while he's involved in a world title feud, and
essentially telegraphing the finish of that match.
yeah, and then KO also being traded to SmackDown while in a title
yeah,
feud.
yeah.
It just didn't make any sense to me. Bull crap.
Created a couple of loose ends with that. So
Yeah. So I didn't have a ton of stuff. Those are just some things that bothered me.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's about ready for us to.
Yeah, there's a short little roundtable discussion show here.
We'll be back Thursday with another episode.
Back to our regularly scheduled program.
Yeah.
Probably.
So,
Are we doing a roundtable on Thursday? Possibly.
No, so we'll figure it out. I think.
see.
We should have Mike Cox will be coming back. A good friend of the show.
Your Cox is coming back.
My friend Mike Cox.
Oh, okay.
Not my Cox.
I was picturing something
Your Cox is
completely
coming back.
different.
Yeah.
You have more than one?
I didn't know it left.
Shit.
Yeah. We'll talk about this after the show, Matt.
Gotcha.
Well, he has to
If
show
you
me
had
something.
if you had fun tonight, like and Revine.
Fine. Just more than 7 seconds long.
Please share this on Tal.
Yeah, show this on Tout.
Get on
Zanga.
Periscope.
I heard that we're going to be uploaded to Zune Marketplace soon, so you can
You can download this
download on
and the
your
newest
Zune.
episode of the Lootscast.
on your Zune.
Yeah. So Jesus Christ.
Yes, that
That was
great.
relevant.
Yeah, and when I heard that, I'm like, I forgot that was a thing.
Let me tell the story real quick before we get off the air.
All right.
So Joe, our intrepid producer and handsome man extraordinaire, has been digging through the archives today and found an old podcast that we did many moons ago. About 7 years ago, Joe. Of an old website that we used to have. It was kind of like a general, like nerdy thing. It
Video
was like
games,
video
movies.
games, and, yeah, all that kind of stuff. It was called.
It had
Lootscast.
Travis on it, so it sucked.
Yeah, it was absolutely terrible. But one of the first episode, one of the things that we plugged is, you can subscribe to us on iTunes and the Zune Marketplace. Actually, you can check us out on your
No
Zune.
way.
You can share 3 seconds of the show with your friend for 3 seconds.
Is that they only let you share 3 seconds?
It
of
was-
something?
I-
I think
it
it
was
was like
some
30
stupid-
Sell them at
Seconds.
EB Games.
Do you guys know where I
electronic
can buy a
boutique?
Zune?
I know.
You guys don't take those
The
in trade
garbage.
anymore?
Yeah, so
The dump.
all right, follow us on everything. Share this with your friends.
What's the Twitter for?
So you can follow us on Audio Suplex Live, Facebook.com/Audio Suplex Live, AudioSuplex.live, which I am super excited
We have
about.
that. We
That's
also
a
have
website?
AudioSuplexLive.com.
Yeah,
as
Oh.
well.
Wow.
you can go to AudioSuplexLive.com. You can go to AudioSuplex.live. Pick your poison.
Twitter is
Twitter.
at Audio Suplex
At
Live.
Audio Suplex Live. You can follow
All right.
me at
Every other letter
X
is capital and then lowercase.
Yeah, and then there's
so
actually a
sick.
4 for the A in audio
No, there's
Okay.
not. It's just audio. There's nothing weird about
because
it.
we are elite hackers.
So at Dr.
Yeah,
TX.
X.TX.
What's mine, Matt?
At Corey Daddy.
No.
No,
Oh.
heel_Corey.
Oh, at heel_Corey.
Yeah.
I'm at Matt Badfriend.
Where's Dave?
I am at Cave Drumbly.
Yeah.
Cave Drumbly.
Cave DRUMBLEY.
Do you ever tweet about Barry Sanders? Is that his name?
Bernie Sanders?
Bernie Sanders. That's his
He
name.
would have won.
That's what I hear.
Yeah.
But that's good. We're going to save that for the Audio Suplex Live political podcast. So coming
Coming
soon.
to a neighborhood near you.
Yeah, coming
Political
soon.
Suplex Live.
Political.
Ooh.
Joe, get us out of here before we offend somebody else.
Hey guys, we would like to thank the band Wax for our intro and outro music. You can check them out at waxoh.bandcamp.com. You have been listening to the Nerd Complex Podcast Network.